Welcome to Republic of Pirates, which is basically Anno, but a bit simpler and with a bit more of RTS. I've completed the campaign in the hardest difficulty, so let me share with you my top 10 tips. First of all, in the campaign or in any game, you can indeed choose your difficulty. You have from easy to hard. What does change a lot is your starting funds, and also when you demolish building, do you get all of the resources? Right, in this case, you get all, or do you get only some of it? And then, as you can see in the easy mode, you also get sort of additional support, like your ship strength is increased, you have more captains, everything is easier, right? Makes sense. But as I said, I did want it in the hard difficulty, so don't hesitate to go for that challenge. Tip number 2, especially close to your starting island, you will always find resources lost at sea. You should definitely take them because that's free resource, right? Sometimes money, sometimes actual resources. So again, this is free, just take it. Tip number 3, when you're going to go into a fight, pause. This way you're going to have the time to actually use all of your powers, install your powers into, and so thus when you go back into normal speed, they will all use their powers at once, right, and do a lot of damage to the enemy. Tip number 4, there's actually a lot of good hotkeys. So similar to Anno, make sure that you rebind to whatever you want. For example, to have something, for roads, for the residences, the depots, those things that you use a lot. Tip number 5, the resources are shared across all of your islands. You don't need to transport them. So each resource should always be built on the island that has the best positive production condition, right? For example, if we look at tobacco, over here it's plus 50%. Over here, it is not impacted. Here, it's minus 50%. So definitely no reason to ever build it over there, tobacco. Tobacco is not here. Tobacco is not there. Not here. Not here. Here we have tobacco minus 50%. So again, ignore it. And tobacco is not here. So all of your tobacco production should be over here. It's plus 50%. It's great. Some of them are even bigger, right? You look at the fish, plus 110. Plus 130 for the fish over here, right? So your fish should definitely be done here, not somewhere else. On the other hand, tip number 6 is you do need your workforce to be local, right? So the workforce has to be on the island that you have the productions for. So basically my tip is you first decide which production you want to put on which island, and then you make sure that you have enough workforce for it. Because if you're missing some workforce, that means your production buildings are going to produce less. The productivity will decrease. But the bonus tip over here too is if you click on any of your production building, you will see automatic worker assignment. You can put it off and then choose how many workers you want. Sometimes you don't need that much of a certain resource, and so you can decrease the number of workers. That will obviously decrease the production, and that way you have enough workers maybe for another production. Tip number 7, it's actually not that hard to make the traders your friend, to make them friendly. And what's really good with make them friendly is then they will stop asking you demand. They will instead give you trades. But what's great with those trades is if you accept them, they become even more friends. If you refuse, nothing happens. So you can refuse the trades you don't like, accept the one you like, and they will not ask you for demands, they will not attack you. So definitely try to make them all your friends. Now in this case over here, this is the end of the campaign, so I just fought the British, spoiler alert, and therefore that's why they're not my friends. I even used the French to fight the British, so that's why they're not my friend anymore either. But usually, I find it pretty easy to have all 3 of them friends with you. You can and you definitely should repair your ships. It costs a bit of money and a bit of resource to repair them as long as they are close to a dock, next to one of your islands. And you should do it because you want to have your captain gain more and more experience. This captain, for example, right now, level 17, he can go a lot higher. I've had captains go to level 40, 50. So you want to make sure you repair it before you get into another fight so that your captains increase, their level, and therefore they have bigger bonuses to give you. So repair and repeat. Tip number 9, like Control Q in Anno, P is your friend. You want to make sure that your productions are higher than your consumptions, right? The production is the second number, the first number is the consumption. So the second number should be bigger than the first. Now the reality is I think they should have made this slightly better, where now as soon as your production, your stock, sorry, of fish, for example, is full, some of the fishing wharf are going to stop. So this one, for example, just stopped because my fishes, if you look over here, where are the fish? I don't see them. Yeah, my fish are basically almost full, and so this one just stops. Otherwise, I would be producing enough. But yeah, definitely make sure that you are looking at this, and you can also look at this over here, right? Are you getting to be full, or is this going down? Tip number 10, there's going to be 4 tiers of population, right? From your basic hut over here to your estate. This is the 4 tiers of population you can see at the top, right? Laborers, higher than, smiths, and artisans. Similar to Anno, they will not need the same things. If you look over here at the basic one, it needs fish, marketplace, and rope. My estate, the top one, doesn't need any of those things. So it is similar to Anno, where usually you start adding some new needs. So if you look at the second tier, right, they still need the fish, the marketplace, and the rope. And then on top of this, they need meat, clothes, and candles, and the prison. Then when you move to the third, they are not going to need fish anymore, but they still need the meat, clothes, candles, and prison. And then they get some new ones: pickle stew, prosthetic lamb, medicine, and fighting pit. And then lastly, again, for the last one, we're not going to need, the first few like meat, etc. But we still need the pickle, etc. And we need some new ones that are similar to this one. So the reason I'm saying this is you're going to want to specialize a bit your neighborhood. The reality is this market over here is pretty useless because these guys don't need a market anymore. These guys don't need a market anymore. Right? So you want to have a market around these tiers of population, and then over here you don't want a market anymore. You're gonna want some different, a fighting pit, for example, or you're gonna want an opium dam. Right? So specialize a bit your neighborhood, but at the same time keep in mind that you do need, probably all tiers of population on many of different islands, because you want to have your production specialize where it makes sense. So it is, ladies and gents, 10 quick tips to make sure that you can master this game and beat it in the hardest difficulty. Don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below if you have other tips for the community. Smash like button, and I hope to see you next time.